My name is Rachel Miller, and this is the story of how the hidden desires I thought I could control slowly unraveled the life I had built for myself. Looking back, I realize how every choice, big or small, carries consequences, and no matter how much you try to bury secrets, the truth finds its way out eventually. I grew up in a small American town, the kind of place where everyone knows everyone. By the time I was in my late 20s, I had married Daniel Miller, my high school sweetheart. Daniel was dependable, hardworking, and always put family first. He became a manager at a local logistics company while I worked part-time as a librarian. Together, we built what looked like the perfect life, a cozy home, a beautiful daughter named Emily, and weekends filled with soccer games and family dinners. But beneath the surface of that picture-perfect life, I carried a restlessness I couldn't quite explain. Maybe it was because I had married young and never explored who I was outside of being a wife and a mother. Maybe it was the monotony of routine, wake up, pack lunches, go to work, make dinner, repeat. Or maybe it was just my own flaws, whispering doubts and hidden desires into my heart. It all began when I met Michael Turner, a new volunteer at the library. Michael was in his early 30s, a graduate student working on his thesis in American history. He came in often, asking for help finding research material, and we would end up talking for longer than necessary. Unlike most people, he seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. He asked about my favorite books, my dreams, my life before marriage. With Daniel, conversations often revolved around bills, schedules, or Emily's school projects. With Michael, it felt different, like being seen again as Rachel, not just Mom or Mrs. Miller. At first, I dismissed the warmth I felt around him as harmless. But the truth was, I enjoyed it. Those little sparks of attention grew into longer talks, coffee breaks, and moments where I caught myself smiling at my phone when he texted about a book recommendation. I told myself it wasn't serious. I was just being friendly. But deep down, I knew I was crossing an invisible line. Weeks turned into months, and my hidden desires for excitement and connection grew. I started staying later at the library under the excuse of extra work, when really, I just wanted more time talking with Michael. I convinced myself that as long as nothing serious happened, I wasn't doing anything wrong. But the truth was, my heart was drifting away from Daniel. The guilt started small, like a faint whisper I could ignore, but it became louder every time I came home and looked at my husband. Daniel trusted me completely. He never questioned my late evenings or why I seemed distracted. He worked long hours, often exhausted by the time he got home, and I told myself he wouldn't notice my emotional distance. But Emily noticed. One evening, she asked, "Mom, why do you always look sad even when you smile?" That question cut through me like a knife. The consequences of my hidden desires showed up before I even realized it. One night, Daniel walked into the kitchen while I was lost in thought, staring at my phone. Michael had sent a simple message, "Can't wait to talk tomorrow." Daniel looked at me, then at the phone, and something in his expression shifted. He didn't yell or accuse me. Instead, he asked quietly, "Rachel, is there something I should know?" My heart raced. I could have confessed everything then, but fear held me back. I shook my head and said it was nothing. But Daniel wasn't blind. He became distant, withdrawn, and I could feel the hurt in his silence. A few days later, he confronted me again. This time, he asked directly, "Are you seeing someone?" My throat tightened, and I wanted so badly to deny it. Technically, I hadn't done anything physical. But emotionally, I had betrayed him. And that truth weighed on me. I finally admitted, "I haven't been honest with you. I've been spending too much time with someone from the library. I didn't mean for it to get this far." Daniel's face crumbled. He didn't shout or throw things. Instead, he looked broken. "Rachel, we built a life together. Why wasn't I enough?" That question will haunt me forever. Because Daniel was enough. My hidden desires weren't about him, they were about me, my restlessness, my selfish search for something new. But explaining that didn't make it better. The days that followed were some of the hardest of my life. Daniel slept on the couch, and the tension at home was unbearable. Emily, sensitive as she was, picked up on everything. One night, she cried and asked, "Are you and Dad going to leave each other?" Hearing my daughter's fear crushed me in a way I can't describe. Michael eventually realized the damage this was causing and stepped back. He told me, "Rachel, you need to fix your family before there's nothing left to fix." His words, though painful, were true. It took months of counseling, long conversations, and rebuilding trust with Daniel. Some days were hopeful, others felt like we were stuck in quicksand. There were moments when I thought our marriage couldn't survive. But Daniel chose to fight for us, and I had to prove, through actions, not just words, that I was committed to making things right. The consequences of my hidden desires nearly destroyed my family. But they also forced me to face myself, to stop running from the emptiness I felt inside. I had to learn that no one else could fill that void for me, not Michael, not even Daniel. I had to confront my own fears and grow as a person. Years later, when I look back, I see that season of my life as both the darkest and most transformative. Daniel and I still carry scars from it, but we also found new strength. Our marriage is not perfect, but it is real, built on honesty, forgiveness, and the painful lessons of the past. This is my story. A story of hidden desires, the consequences they bring, and the hope that even in brokenness, healing is possible if you're willing to fight for it.